right, why don't we go ahead and get started? Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining the 200K Challenge 2026 info session. Great to have you here, and we'll cover what the challenge is about, and we'll also hear from some of our supporters about some awards, and also from a past winner. So why don't we go ahead and get started? I am Marianne Picard, Executive Director for Innovation at the University of Massachusetts Lowell. One of my main responsibilities is overseeing the M2D2 program, Medical Device and Biotech Innovator Accelerator Program, that has been in existence since 2008. So well established. It is always important to note that everything we do, there is no affiliation with UMass required. This is a global program, and it is open to academic researchers and startups worldwide. So with that, let's first let my colleague Alexei introduce himself.
Sure, yeah. My name's Alexei Teague. I'm the program manager here at UMass M2D2, taking care of a lot of our day-to-day activities and our various programs. And then I'd also like to introduce here, we have our past winner who's going to be speaking today for a little bit, Ryan from Craniosense, if you want to just say hi.
Hi, guys. Appreciate you guys having me back. Happy to answer any questions. Happy to give any background. But yeah, I'm CEO of and co-founder of Craniosense. We were lucky enough to win last year, and I can talk about what we put into the program, what we got out of it, and then what's been happening since. So thank you guys for having me.
Great. So a little about M2D2. We are a joint initiative between UMass Lowell and UMass Chan Medical School. We are a med device, biotech, startup incubator, and accelerator. So we have physical lab space, office space, as well as many online or virtual opportunities. For example, our NIH-funded point of care program, which has mentorship, non-dilutive funding, or we have programs like this one, the 200K Challenge, where we support innovators through a pitch competition. Marianne, do you want to add anything? All right. Okay, so we're proud to present this year's sponsors for the 2026 200K Challenge. Here is just a high look at who's sponsoring this year. We're also going to be hearing from some of these sponsors later on, who they are, what they're offering, what kind of prize, and what they're looking for. One winner from a few years ago, Illuminate Surgical, just going to play a quick video so you can hear what they had to say about the challenge.
Congratulating all of the great minds that come out of the Boston area, and kind of seeing it in one place really got me really excited about the life sciences, of course. So it is a very exciting experience. This award is huge for us. And really go a long way towards making this a reality.
All right, so that was a 2022 third place winner, Illuminant Surgical, who won some in-kind support, which is great and all, but we also have a active last year winner right here on the call with us. So, Ryan, since you're here, what were some of your key takeaways from the 200K challenge last year?
Yeah, so we have been a part of a few accelerators, and I'm a big proponent of you get, generally speaking, what you put into those accelerators. And with the 200K challenge, we were, you're obviously building a business. You're kind of building it on the fly, but we dedicated a lot of time, especially my co-founder Christian, to making sure that we showed up and put as much energy into it as we expected to get out. And we ended up getting out, I think, much more than we put in, having won. But that wasn't really our goal. It was, there's a lot of amazing companies that were accepted last year, and I'm sure there's going to be many amazing companies more so this year. And our goal wasn't necessarily to come and win the the pitch competition at the end, but it was to gather as much feedback in terms of what we were doing, challenge our assumptions as much as possible, make enough connections so we could support the business going forward. And I think we did that in spades through the program itself. So in terms of, I think what we did right was we just put maximum amount of effort into being a part of the program, even though we're also putting maximum amount of effort into running the company at the same time, which is it's a fine balance, but obviously there's overlap. But that's a big positive for what we did, and because you guys made such a good program, we ended up seeing that tenfold back to us in terms of the energy that was put into CranioSense through the mentors and through through you guys and obviously through the in-kind and cash that we received at the end.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. You actually brought up a good point about how the whole initial idea behind you applying was just for judge feedback, maybe some exposure at the final event, and just to network. So if you wouldn't mind, can you just touch a little on what your experience was at the final pitch off when you pitched in front of the crowd here in Lowell?
Yeah, I mean, you guys always put on a great program. We just come most of the time just because you guys are putting one on. The networking alone is worth it, and you guys have a great network of good people. So we always look forward to meeting new people. But we had an opportunity to have a poster on the side, and so met a lot of familiar faces that helped us throughout the program. So we got to actually meet a lot of those people in person for the first time, because some of it was virtual. Got to connect with some old faces that we knew and see them there. And then we met a lot of new people that were interested in what we're doing, whether that's other startups that were in the space with us in the 200K challenge with us, or people that were applying this year, or people that applied, and won or took place in the challenge in years past. And then, we learned a ton from just watching other people pitch. I think it's, you obviously have to craft your own story. It's unique to what you're doing, but seeing how people present their companies and their stories and how much energy they put into what they're building, and just seeing other people kind of apply different techniques to how they pitched. We've taken even a lot from that and incorporated it into our pitch as well. So again, obviously the prize at the end is wonderful, but I think everything else that we took from that was incredible as well.
Well, I appreciate you saying all the great things about the events we host, and we were really glad to build such an ecosystem and a crowd that comes to so many of our events. You did mention, of course, the prizes, plural, actually, I think you took home last year. If you wouldn't mind just touching on how those prizes have helped your company in the last, I think it's been a year, right?
Yeah.
How it's helped and what kind of progress you've made. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's everything from, just being a part of the competition at the end, is a significant amount of exposure, just showing that you're standing next to other people doing incredibly innovative things, connects you to people that you wouldn't expect. One of our current investors now, we had known them before the 200K challenge. We had, been chatting with them, not necessarily about investing in the company, but they came up almost immediately after and said that they wanted to invest, which I'm not going to promise that's going to happen to everybody. And that was a longer term relationship, but I do think it was the program was a catalyst to them seeing the progress that we've made, and deciding that they wanted to back us, which was huge for us. Since then, we've raised an equity round of financing in the spring, and then we're awarded about $5.5 million in grants to do our pivotal study work on the back of that. And without the momentum of people seeing that what we're building, the progress that we've made since the last time they've talked to us, getting exposure through, there was a write-up after the fact, and getting exposure through that, half of what we do is obviously the success of, building the product that we're building and the traction there. But it's also, you know, investors need to see that you're kind of a real company, which is a weird thing to think about. I think when you start a company, you're like, of course we're real. We have a name and a logo, and we're two people, and we're here. But they're investing in you more so than they're investing in the company, and they have to believe that you're there for the reasons you're kind of espousing in those conversations. And the longer you can show that track record of being successful and building and showing momentum, even if it's incremental steps, is very important for them to build their confidence. And obviously the 200K challenge for us was a big, notch in that. Oh my gosh, they won. They're not only real, but they're also, successful. So let's get on board while we can, sort of situation.
Well, very well said. And congratulations on all your recent successes, even just in the last year since we last saw you in Lowell. To conclude here, if you had to sum up, I think I scanned through the names and the participants. It seems like there's a lot of new faces in the virtual room right now. If you had to sum up in a sentence or two, your top advice for those that are new to both the 200K challenge or just even M2D2 in general.
I mean, I'm a big proponent of you got to show up to get anything out of anything. And it's not going to be what you expect to get out of it, right? So if you know that you're going to put your efforts in here to find, your next regulatory consultant or something, to challenge your assumption about if the market, needs what you're actually putting out there, you're going to end up getting other things out of this that you wouldn't expect, whether it's, like I said, an investor or a connection with, the Chan Medical School or the UMass system at large. Put everything that you can into this, and you'll get out tenfold. The application process, I see that question at the bottom, is not necessarily a difficult thing. It's fairly straightforward. It's asking you what you're building, but when you get accepted, just make sure that you put all your effort in, and you'll see the benefit out of it, whatever that might be. It's not a prescribed, like, you enter this, you come out with exactly what you're expecting. It's going to be so much more. So just put the energy in, and you'll get a ton out of it. I know every year there's companies that get accepted that don't necessarily put in the most energy, and they're definitely not the companies that end up becoming a finalist or even winning an award. So put everything in that you can, and you'll see a lot out of it. So
I think it's
that's
worth
my
noting
advice.
that you and your team also applied for quite a few years before you finally took home first place. So encouragement to those who may have applied in the past couple years and weren't selected as a finalist.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were very young. We had assumptions. They were all over the place. And when we put a lot of effort into building the company, and when it was ready, when it was the right time to get into the program, it happened, and it paid off. So yeah, it's not about having the right decision. If everybody had a great idea and can exit tomorrow, then there wouldn't be startups. I mean, you have to put in the energy. You're all wrong right now. We're still wrong, right? So you just have to figure out how to get to the point where you can reduce all the risks, operationally, get everything to the point where it's ready for people to actually take hold of it. And yeah, it's a journey for sure. And just like ours for the 200K challenge.
Well, so that's all the questions I had for you, Ryan. Really appreciate you taking the time and sharing your advice with hopefully some future applicants and maybe some future winners in the lobby here. If anyone has any questions for Ryan, feel free to put them in the chat or shoot them our way. We'll get them to him, get you connected, whatever you all need. So moving along here, just high level about the challenge. I think Ryan actually covered quite a few of these answers talking here. Who should apply? Really, any early mid-stage startup that is just looking for a little boost, a little either cash support or in-kind support. Why should you apply? Well, because who doesn't need support right now? I mean, come on. And what does 200K in-kind services mean? I'm actually not going to answer that now. We will cover that later when we're going to talk to some of our sponsors, and they will explain exactly what that means. So here are last year's winners in case anyone was curious on who won and what they were doing. On the left, you can see what kind of prizes were taken home, as well as who came in what place. It is worth noting that the areas of interest change every year, so definitely review the application and what the areas are, because just because of technology you might see here on the left one last year doesn't mean it's the same kind of thing we're looking for this year. Just as some more information here, we're including a little highlight reel from our 2022 challenge.
The event is sort of the buildup of the entire M2D2. So to see it grow over its 15-year period, this is 11 years of the competition itself. And so not only are you seeing the number of applicants increase, but the quality has been amazing. And to see our faculty and staff and students be able to get more involved over time has been tremendous for the university.
I'm very happy to be here. I'm excited to pitch, excited to meet other people who are here to pitch as well, seeing what they're doing and hearing what their journey is. And so it's a great environment.
All right, hearing from some of our staff there, past winners, past participants. So I was just talking about how areas of interest are pretty crucial and key to applying to the challenge, how they change every year. This year, most of our areas of interest are focused on women's health. So here you can see some of the examples, as well as a breakdown of one example of an area of interest, pelvic health. If you feel you are working in a space that fits any of these areas, we would love to see what you have going on and encourage you to apply. If you are working on women's health in general, we still would like to see what you have going on. There is an other category you can click on. So women's health or one of these specifically, please apply. We'd like to see what you have going on. So now we're actually going to take some time, as I mentioned earlier, to hear from our sponsors that are giving prizes, supporting M2D2, and what they're offering. I can't see the participants here, Marianne, so if you want to call on someone.
Sure. I think what we should do is kick off with the Massachusetts eHealth Institute with Katie Green is on the call. Katie, if you'd like to say a few words, we would love to hear from you.
Great. Thanks so much, Marianne and Alexei. We're excited to be here. So MIHI is the Massachusetts eHealth Institute. We're part of the Massachusetts Technology Collaborative, and we're the state's designated agency for growing the digital health ecosystem in Massachusetts. We're really excited to partner with M2D2 on the 200K challenge this year, and we'll be offering a $10,000 cash award to one of the finalists. We're looking specifically for a solution that supports the state's focus on reducing inequities in maternal and perinatal health. And particularly, we'd like to find solutions that can support access to maternal and perinatal health for patients in rural communities. So if this is you, please apply. We're excited to see all of the submissions and to be part of the program this year. Thank you.
Thanks, Katie. And next, I think let's go over to NPR. I do see Ryan Downs is on the call. Ryan?
Yes, hello. All right. So yeah, we're really excited for the 200K challenge. This is something we've participated in many years over M2D2's existence, and I got the honor to be a judge for the first time last year. I look forward to doing that again this year. I remember Craniosense's pitch. That was a very, very strong pitch. As well as many of the other participants. I know, being a judge, we went back in the judging room and we're wringing our hands, and everyone saw tremendous value and opportunity and potential in all the companies that pitch. So it's really tough to be a judge. So just want to put that out there. So what NPR offers, we have an in-kind service. Marianne, I forget the exact dollar amount. I should have had that handy. But we do in-kind services for engineering support. NPR Associates is an engineering services consulting firm. We have 275 engineers on staff of all disciplines. Our day jobs are furthering and commercializing medical technology. So we work in the medical device, pharmaceuticals, radioisotopes, radiation beam therapy kind of equipment and infrastructure. So we can do everything. A lot of software, mechanical, electrical, software-enabled, cloud-connected software as a medical device, hard goods, soft goods, the whole kit and caboodle. So what we typically offer for our in-kind award is a project planning, product roadmap exercise. Thank you, 10K. Product roadmap, project planning exercise for your technology. Really what that is sort of before you get into deep detail design, figuring out what you want to go do, how you'd go about it, how you could deconstruct the bigger initiative into its key constituents. How do you resolve the risks of those individual milestones that you need to achieve? And then a rough order of magnitude of what you need to go off and raise, at least from a technology development, to have somebody like NPR do the heavy lift and the full scope of the engineering to bring your product to market. So that's usually what we'll do. And we're always interested and willing to customize that based on where the recipient is in their design evolution. Some are past that point and we'll go figure out some other technology centric thing to go do for them. And some are early, and maybe we dive into some risk reduction ideas that they can go off and go implement that'll solve those their near-term challenges. So that's roughly what we offer, and we're excited to do it again this year.
That's great. Thank you so much, Ryan, for being here and for providing the description. I think what we'll do next is Mintz is providing an in-kind award of an IP audit, and they unfortunately are not able to have someone here today, but we do have a description of what they're providing, and it is a $25,000 value. And what it is an IP audit. It's a comprehensive assessment to see where your existing and potential IP assets are. Whether you're an academic researcher who's applying, this challenge is open to academic institutions across the world, or whether you're already a startup company and taking a look at what is existing and what your potential IP assets could be. And this includes taking a look at ownership, protection status, making sure that it aligns with the overall business strategy, helping you think through and maybe even further identify risks, opportunities, and also next steps to strengthen and to protect innovations. So that's a high level overview of what they provided, but it's a terrific award, and Mintz is fantastic to work with, has been a huge supporter of this particular program as well as others that we do for many, many years. So, and then I think that takes care of that one. I do not see anybody yet from Hologic on the call.
Actually, Mary, I'm here.
You're on it. Oh, there you are.
Yep.
Did you
I
just
popped
join?
on. Yep.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Timing is everything. Jim, let me introduce Jim Geronio from Hologic. Jim, please go.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Geronio from Hologic. We're excited to sponsor the 200K again this year. We've been sponsoring since 2018, and it's really allowed us to connect with a lot of early startup and innovative companies. For those who don't know, Hologic is a medical device and technology company primarily focused on women's health. So the areas of interest are near and dear to our heart that are being focused on this year. We have 3 divisions: diagnostic, breast health, and surgical, which is generally uterine health therapeutic interventions. I'm part of the surgical division, but we generally spearhead it, but the breast health and diagnostics divisions also get involved. And we're excited again this year to be offering a $20,000 in-kind award. Generally, what we can do with that is a project where we can give access to some of our marketing teams and even some of our KOLs to explore the market that your device is geared towards. Learn something together about that. We can bring in regulatory reimbursement, those aspects to it, and usually generally walk away with some type of report on what we've done that helps both us and you to understand the market and where you're going better. So getting excited to do that again this year.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you again for your support. Thank you for being here. I know it was not easy for you today in the midst of travel, so really appreciate it. Let's turn it over to, I see Frank from RQMIS has joined. Frank will talk about their in-kind award in the regulatory space. Frank?
Thank you very much. Yep, my name is Frank Manning. I'm the Business Development Director here at RQMIS. We offer regulatory, clinical quality, insurance reimbursement, and cybersecurity help for the medical products industry. And we are offering a $5,000 regulatory assessment for somebody at the $200,000 event.
Oh, did we lose him or he was done? It was a little choppy on my side. What's
Sorry
that?
about that. Oh, I'm all set.
Oh, okay. Perfect. I didn't know if it was my my reception. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to mention is M2D2 has a new award this year that we are thrilled with UMass Lowell to be able to provide, and it's a first-time Founders Award. So this will be specific exactly as its name implies, a first time, someone right out of the gate, first time starting a company, opening their own startup company. They will have 1 year of free lab space at a bench in our shared lab at 110 Canal Street in Lowell, and that will also come with a dedicated desk for office space. So the value of that is well over $25,000. And we're thrilled to be able to provide that this year. So I think that rounds out who we have on the call to discuss awards. I think we can go ahead and move on.
All right, so the most important part, how to apply. Fairly simple. We've actually even streamlined the process a little this year compared to last year. So go to the site you see right there, m2d2challenge.com. You'll see a 200K tab and apply button. Click there and it'll take you right to the application. I'll actually show it at the end of the call just to show everyone what they're getting into when they hit apply. It's really all information about your company you probably have on hand, frankly, but we'll look a little bit at that later. Another important thing is even if you aren't applying, you don't fit an area of interest, you are applying, you don't get in, you're just interested in the challenge, whoever you are, we really encourage you to attend the final event. So this QR code will bring you to the event page where you can register to attend. As you heard Ryan say earlier, a lot of the reason they kept applying was just to network and meet people at the final event and show investors and their peers that they are a real company. So can't understate the value in just attending the event, which is free enough. So leave this up for a second. Feel free to also email me or look at our eBlast if you need the link again and you miss it here. So timeline, what's going on? When are we going to hear things? When do you need to send stuff? Here we go. So the applications did open right after New Year's on the 5th of January. Today we're at the live webinar. You have exactly a month to apply from now, so still a good chunk of time. Entries are going to close on the 15th of February. We're looking to talk to our judges and make finalist decisions over the next couple weeks, and we are looking to announce finalists by March 9th. You'll hear from us whether you are accepted or not, and if you are a finalist at that point, we are putting you through pitch coaching, and then all culminating in the final event on March 25th. So mark your calendars there for the final event. We'd love to see everyone there that's on this call. For more information, here we go. You can follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter. Here's the website for more information, FAQs on the challenge. And if you just have any questions that we don't get to, we are doing Q&A later in the call. If we don't get to your question or you think of something else later, feel free. Any questions you have, m2d2@uml.edu. Some FAQs about the challenge. These are also on our website. Does an entrant give up any equity? No. Are travel expenses paid? Unfortunately, we cannot reimburse for any travel, so that is on you to get here. If you are selected as a finalist, we do expect you to pitch in person at the final event, so keep that in mind. The final event is in Lowell, and we expect you to be there. We just raised Series E. Can we still enter? Of course. Yeah, we're looking at any and all people to enter. What will the coaching process be like? I can't speak to that very much, but it is real pitch coaching that'll take you through your story, things to hit on about your technology, your product, your team, your company, and how to make a compelling pitch to a audience of judges and investors like we'll have at the challenge on the 25th. There is a typo in the question below. It should be March 25th in person, so I covered this already. Yes, you do have to be there in person on March 25th if you are selected as a finalist. Do you need to relocate to participate in the 200K challenge? No. In fact, you don't even have to be US based. This is an international challenge, so we'll take applicants and give prizes to wherever you are. Some of the finalists last year were based in Ireland, and they were still eligible for all the prizes we handed out. We would like it if you wanted to relocate and maybe be in the Lowell area and get some space with us, but that is not required. Where can you get more information? See these FAQs again. Everything you need is on m2d2challenge.com or email us at m2d2@uml.edu. So here's a link to the application. I'll give some people some chance to take down that address, scan the QR code. This is where you can start your application. Entries are due February 15th, that should say. Yeah, I'll actually run through the application in a second. I'll just let people scan this QR code briefly.
I'm just going to take the opportunity, Alex, to answer one of the questions that I see. We can answer it quickly. Is would early mid-stage nonprofits be eligible to apply? Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so here is the M2D2 Challenge website. I think everyone can see this. This is what it looks like. Here is all the information you need about the 200K challenge. You can even watch last year's info session if you feel so compelled. Timeline right here, AOIs, and then right up here at the top, apply now. So you click that. For those that have applied in the past, we were using a different platform. You might remember you needed to create an account. There was a dashboard, all that. We got rid of all that. This takes you right to the application right here. So there's a few disclosures, timeline, links to the various events. Very important here, this year's areas of interest. So I really recommend reviewing this thoroughly. Eligibility. An overview of the application process with some key dates in it. What we're looking for, what the sponsors are looking for when they look at your application, what the prizes are, and some liability. So right here, just briefly, contact information. We want to know if you are from a university, which is a good point to note and should be in the FAQs. You do not have to be an established company yet. You can be from an academic institution. We just request that you have some IP in place. Business address. Here is where you can select what area of interest you fall under, so please review those thoroughly at the top. If you don't think you fit any of those, but think you are working in women's health on an important issue that you think could be valuable, there is another option where you can elaborate. Executive summary. What need is your solution addressing? What is novel? Has feasibility been tested? ETA till your solution's on the market, launched, status of your IP, what kind of funding do you have? Have you met with the FDA? What's your regulatory strategy, reimbursement strategy? TRL, which there's a link to the definitions so you can determine where you are yourself. And then optional are a couple non-confidential attachments like an executive summary or a pitch deck. Those are optional. And when you're done, you hit the next arrow and that's it. That's the application right there. So pretty easy, and we'd like to see all of you apply. It is worth noting, even though you don't create an account here, as long as you revisit the same link, you can leave off if you don't want to finish all of it in one sitting. So you do half of it, close it, come back later, just hit the same link, and it will save everything you've typed in and where you are in the application. So it does not have to be finished in one setting.
Hey, Alexei, just wanted to add a quick comment. Like you mentioned, being able to attach a pitch deck. I just wanted to say that's super helpful for those reviewing applications. So I would, it's optional, but I would definitely encourage a quick pitch deck if you apply.
That is true. Yeah, appreciate the comment, Jim. The distinction was all the other questions are required. It is optional, those attachments, but as you just heard from one of our judges right here, highly encouraged and highly valuable to attach them. I think that's it for our presentations today. So now we can get to the Q&A.
Yeah, let's go through the Q&A. I've answered a couple of them as I could. Here's another one. Is software that supports, whoops, I just lost it. Is software that supports MedTech devices in scope? Yes, absolutely. As a returning applicant, are there particular milestones or metrics of advancement that you're looking for? We always recommend people in your situation that they highlight what has been achieved over the past year, what's new, what's improved, what advances have you made since the last time, is the best advice for sure. The link is definitely working. If you fit into one area, but also another category that isn't listed, yes, choose other for the other one. Breast cancer therapeutics, yes. And that can definitely be included. Sorry, I'm trying to read at the same time. There was another one about diagnostic vital sign monitoring system. I would put that in the other category. We will definitely look at it. And I also want to make sure you're aware we have a program specifically for vital sign monitoring that will open. We're expecting it to open in March, so keep an eye out for that. And that's an NIH-funded program called the Center for Advancing Point of Care Technologies. If you're signed up for our eBlast, which I think you probably are because you're here today, then you will get news of that automatically. Early mid-stage nonprofit, I think I answered that one. The list of coaches for the 200K challenge, we actually don't have the list of coaches yet. The pitch coaching is organized by our legal partner, Mintz, and we can confirm that every pitch coach that they use is an investor, is a certified investor, whether it be an angel or an early stage VC. So, but we don't have those yet. That is still in process. It is different than what you would have experienced in the impact program. Did I miss anything? What is the limit? What is the time limit of the pitch? We do a 4-minute pitch followed by Q&A. And this year we're going to have 10 finalists. Is there any page limit for the executive summary? That's a good question on the portal. We tend to go with the one-pager executive summaries, but I don't know if the portal is different.
It'll support more than one page, but there is a file size limit. Keep it reasonable, concise. The judges, we're going to get a lot of applications. They don't want to flip through a book for every person. So concise, easy to look over, helps your application. Yeah.
Okay. And then character or word limits on the questions. I see that question as well.
I'm not sure if it's displayed. I think there is, it depends on the question. A lot of them are around 150 to 200 words though.
Okay. Yes, therapeutics are welcomed. And just to reiterate that the competition is open for academic researchers and startups worldwide. Oh, we have another one. AOI is mostly related to women's health and something to women's health. Yes, you would just use the other category. There's M2D2, UMass in general, as well as some other partners, such as Mints and other service providers are interested in other categories as well. So, yes, please use other. I think I got them all.
I think you did. Yeah, I'll put
Anything else?
the email in the chat again if you
Questions?
think about
Yes.
anything else later on. Yeah, otherwise I think we got through everything here.
Perfect. Of course, if I can help at all, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to put mine in the chat as well. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We really appreciate it. We hope it was helpful. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And if you're willing to spread the word about the competition, we would appreciate that as well. Thank you all.